The Twins take on the Tigers, 1:10 p.m. Eastern first pitch. Now this is game one of a doubleheader. The Minnesota Twins are minus 120 with the total at 7.5 juice to the over. The Tigers are plus $1 for some money line cash. And if you like Detroit on the run line, they're minus 155, catching the 1.5. Jose Urena's the expected starter for Detroit. Charlie Barnes for Minnesota. Now, guys, I'll tell you what. I'm feeling fantastic on a Saturday morning because we went 5-1 in our 6 premium sports picks on my Patreon website yesterday. We also improved to 3-1 in our last 4 board member tier package picks on that Patreon page. And the good news is we have another board member tier package pick going off here this evening. We're also hitting at 69% our last 16 board member tier package picks in that very same category. We currently have over 925 folks who are signed up and active on my Patreon page. And if you want to see which one of these picks are being featured on my Patreon site, link for that site is in the description section below. That's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now the Tigers are on a 4-game losing streak. All 4 of those losses came against Minnesota. They also have Jose Urena on the bump here today, who's just 2-8 on the year with a 6.43 ERA and a 1.69 whip. The righties walked 37 batters and struck out just 50. This Detroit lineup is also averaging double-digit strikeouts a game at the plate, and they're being held to only 3.9 runs a game at Comerica Park. They're taking on a Minnesota team who won 6 out of their last 8 going into the All-Star break. The Twins are also in the top 10 in road scoring, top 5 in road hits. Nelson Cruz is in the top 15 in both batting average and OPS. The Sluggers hitting .304 with an OPS of .930. Meanwhile, Jorge Polanco's got 31 extra base hits and 135 total bases. Meanwhile, when it comes to the pitching, the Twins are also in the top 10 in fewest walks given up away from home. And when it comes to the total in this one, the Twins went 60% to the under in their last 10 outings. Plus this game here, it's game one of the doubleheader. It's just a 7-inning game. Meanwhile, the Tigers are officially 26-17 to the under on their home field. I'm going to lean toward the Minnesota Twins minus 120 and the under 7.5 in game one of the doubleheader. With that, let's move on. Rangers, Blue Jays, 3:07 Eastern Standard Time. The Toronto Blue Jays are minus 235, totals 9.5 juice to the over. Hyun-Jin Ryu for Toronto. Colby Allard for Texas. Now Allard's just 2-6 on the year, as the last place Rangers are currently 21 games below 500. The Rangers also have the fewest road wins in the American League right now. Winners of just 13 out of 44 games when they travel. This Rangers pitching staff is dead last in the league in hits allowed on the road. They're taking on a Toronto club who's on a 2-game winning streak, and they lead the majors in home scoring. Vlad Guerrero Jr., he's leading the majors in batting average, RBI, and OPS. The Sluggers hitting .335 with 77 ribbies and a 1.111 OPS. Vladdy's also second in the majors in homers with 30 of them. Meanwhile, Marcus Semion's got 23 homers on the year himself, 22 doubles, and 193 total bases. The Blue Jays are leading the majors in home hits. They also have Hyun-Jin Ryu on the bump here today. He's 8-5 with a .356 ERA and a 1.17 whip. He's been pretty good this year. Now, total-wise, Toronto's 23-17 to the over at Solon Field. Meanwhile, the Rangers went 70% to the over in their last 10 ball games themselves. 3-1 to the over in their last 4 on the road. I'm going to lean toward the Toronto Blue Jays minus 1.5 and the over 9.5 runs. The next matchup, Indians versus the A's, 4:07 East. The Oakland A's are minus 180, numbers 8 and a hook. Frankie Montas for Oakland, Cal Quantrill for Cleveland. The Indians have cashed in on the run line in 6 out of their last 10 outings. They're also in the top 5 in striking batters out on the road. Cal Quantrill's fanned 43 batters in just over 61 innings of work. Meanwhile, hitting-wise, at the plate here, this Cleveland lineup is in the top 10 in the majors in fewest strikeouts at the plate. Jose Ramirez has hit 19 homers and knocked in 52. The third baseman is also in the top 30 in the majors in OPS. Cesar Hernandez, he's also hit 15 home runs, and he's got 137 total bases as well. They're taking on an Oakland club who failed to cash in on the run line in 2 out of their last 4 home games. This Oakland lineup is averaging just 6.9 hits a game at the Coliseum, and they're in the bottom 10 in home scoring. Frankie Montas also comes into today's start with 7 losses on the year, along with a 4.41 ERA. Now, the righty's also got a 1.31 whip. When it comes to the number in this one, Oakland's 26-19 to the over against American League opponents at home. Meanwhile, the Indians went 60% to the over in their last 10 outings themselves, 3-1 to the over in their last 4 away from home. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Cleveland Indians plus 1.5 and the over 8.5 runs. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for this part 1 video. It is going to be Cubs versus the D-backs, 4:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Chicago Cubs are minus 135, totals 9. Albert Alzolay for Chicago, Zach Gallen for Arizona. Gallen's just 1-4 on this season, 4.17 ERA, and a 1.39 whip. The last place Diamondbacks have the fewest wins in Major League Baseball, and they currently find themselves with a win percentage of just .280. The D-backs are dead last in the majors in runs allowed, dead last in hits allowed as well. They're taking on a Chicago team who's won 3 out of their last 5. And they rank in the top 10 in striking batters out on the road. Albert Alzolay has struck out 81 batters in just over 77 innings. When it comes to the scoring in this one, Arizona went 60% to the over in their last 10 ball games. The D-backs are also 27-17 to the over at Chase Field. I'm going to lean toward the Chicago Cubs minus 135 and the over 9 runs. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my Patreon website. I like Minnesota minus 120, under 7.5 in Game 1 of the doubleheader. I like Toronto minus 1.5, over 9.5 runs. Cleveland plus 1.5, over 8.5. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 3-1 in our last 4 board member tier package picks on my Patreon website. We're also hitting at 69%. And our last 16 board member tier package picks in that very same category. I'm going to lean toward the Chicago Cubs minus 135 and the over 9 runs. Of that, guys, now it's time for some shout outs to our top 10 YouTube commenters over the past couple of days or so. Shout out to Eugene Mack, Tattoo Keese, Tegan Niemeyer, Ralph Kalingasan, Moneyball 365. Shout out to Blaine Medvick, Mike DePaz, Chris Diaz, Thomas Matias, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to a guy who I think I worked with down in Tampa for a couple months. But shout out to Chris Reed. I don't know if it's you, Chris. If it's actually you. Drop me a line in the comment section, or it could just be some coincidence, some random guy named Chris Reed. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. Now, if you guys do end up getting a package here today, just keep in mind Patreon's going to bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today, you're going to get access to that content all the way through the end of July. And if you don't opt out, Patreon's just going to bill you again on the 1st of August, and you'll get access all the way through the end of August if you stay opted in. But guys, most importantly, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Saturday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.